Greetings everyone, this is Amara-Channel, this is my channel Eyes Wide Shut. Today I want to talk to you about how this planet here, this planet is almost like a prison. It's almost like a prison. We have to work until we're 67 years of age. 67 years of age. For many it's be 65. This is in the UK, but now it's 67. So now they put up the age by 2 years. All right, so we have to work that 2 years longer. And for women, it used to be 60, and now it's 67, the same as it is for men. Now tell me this, we have to work for more or less half of our life, because most people might start working from about the age of 16 or 18 years of age, right, up until they're 67. So most of their best life in them is behind them now, right? So at 67 years of age, the government knows this, right, that not many people will live much past 67. So they got us working, using up our time, which our time is supposed to be precious to us, right? But they're paying us for our time, and that time should really be ours, because that's really the only true value that we have, right, on this realm, on this level, is our time. We spend 8 hours more or less sleeping, 8 hours more or less working, and 8 hours going to work. Now these are just approximations, because some people work like nurses up to 12, 14 hours a day. Okay, but I'm just talking about averages. And you got to think about the time as well it takes for you to get ready in the morning, have breakfast, get on the road if you got a car, or get on a bus and go to work. Right, that's taking up about 2 hours of your time on top of the hours that you're working. And some people do overtime. Some people have deadlines. Deadlines, you notice the words? Deadlines. They have to try and meet certain targets by certain deadlines. Man, we are so stressed. We are so stressed because of the life that we have to try and live. And this has been pushed down onto us from the higher uppers, from the elite. Okay? They want to use up our time. And it's funny as well, because we spend so much time at work, and then when we come home, we're too knackered to be able to do anything. If you got children as well, all right, you don't even get to spend that much time with them. The system have got the kids more than you have them. Yeah? Because when you go to work in the morning, guess what? They're going to school, caught up in this system that has just eaten up all of our time. And we live in this consumer society as well. And this consumerism, buying your house, buying your car, it's almost like a trap. Why does I say that? It's almost like a trap, because you know you have to continue working in order to be able to pay off the house if you bought that house on a mortgage. Okay, if you bought a car, you need to work in order to be able to pay that off, unless you're going to do some kind of illegal gambling, right? Or you're going to do some illegal crime, or you're fortunate enough to have a very wealthy family, right, where you don't have to work. And some people choose also not to work, so they're supported by the state. But for a lot of people, they have to go out and work. Buy your car, that almost becomes like a trap, right? Because you now have to go to work in order to pay for that car. Then you have to pay for the insurance, the MOT, the petrol to run the car, all of those things. And if you got a house, right, you have to pay the mortgage on that house. You know why they call it a mortgage? They call it a mortgage because you'd have died and gone to the morgue by the time you paid that house off. You would have died and gone to the morgue by the time you paid that house off. Now in the UK, they got 40-year mortgages. 40-year mortgages. In America, I heard now they got 50-year mortgages. So if you take out a mortgage at age 50 or 59, by the time you pay that off, you're going to be over 100 years old. How many people live that long? Right? How many people get to enjoy their life? The best years are now behind them. When we get to 67 to 70, health starts to decline. The health starts to decline. So things like poor eyesight, diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, yeah, these things start to affect us. And so all those plans that you might have had for when you retire, some people don't even get to enjoy those things because they're not in a very good state of health. A friend of mine, his wife died about 2 years ago now, and God bless him. She retired at 67, and within 2 years, she passed away. And you know what? She was looking so forward to retiring, right? All these things that she wanted to do. Dying just under 2 years after retiring. You see what I mean? I hate this system. The system that sucks off of us much time watching TV, and the TV is nothing but a program, right? It's just programming us, okay? TV programs, programming you. TV or television tell lies to you visually. You got government, and all they're just doing is governing your mental. That's what government means, governing your mental. How many things, when you vote for it, does the government actually fulfill? How much promises that the government makes, how much of these promises do they actually fulfill? Giving away your powers to these governments, and they're not doing anything in return. In actual fact, when most governments get into power, they tend to do what they want to do and not what the people put them in there for. Democracy means for the people, by the people, okay? So your MPs, they're supposed to be there to represent you. They're supposed to be there to represent the people. But as I say, a lot of governments, when they get in, their own agenda. Trust what I'm telling you. This planet is like a prison. The other thing as well, things like food prices. Look how much food has gone up. I can't believe it, man. Even a bottle of tomato ketchup, going back about 2 years ago, you pay about £2 for a large bottle of tomato, yeah, for tomato sauce. Now it's about £5 or £6. A tin of tomatoes or a tin of beans. Look how much that's gone up in value. Here in the UK, we're having to pay so much back to the system. And the system was designed like that to keep us working, to keep us constantly paying back to the system. That's why every single month, we just keep repeating the same cycle. The cycle of paying for bills, the cycle of buying food, the cycle of paying for your mortgage, the cycle of having to pay for your rent, your electricity, your gas, your water, right? If you want to go on holiday, you have to find some money somewhere in order to pay for your holiday. You know, I know some people who've been on holiday and they're still paying off past holidays, yeah, from 2 or 3 years ago, because they got everything on cards, on credit cards. Yeah, this system that we're living in, this beast system, all it wants to do is just suck the lifeblood out of you. When you get to 67 years of age, as I say, your health starts to decline. It knows that not much past 67, a lot of people are going to pass us living and paying for food. Nature, right, naturally provides for us, that we're having to pay for these things. Fruits, we have to pay for that, but that grows naturally. But you go to the supermarket to go and buy that. So apples and bananas and pears, yeah, even your things like your carrots and your cabbage, all of these things grow naturally in nature. But what do? Every week we go to a shop to buy these things when they grow naturally in abundance in nature. You see how they got us trapped? You see how they got our minds trapped? You see how we have to pay for just about every single thing on this planet? Mortgage. Mortgage is nothing but you pay for your mortgage, and then before you even manage to pay that off, you die. Mortgage, the agent gone some more by the time you paid that off, and now they got 40-year mortgages. And in America, so I've been told, they've now got 50-year mortgages. It's a sad world, man. It's a sad world. But what can we really do about it? There's not enough people pushing back. There's so many people accepting of the system that we're living in, feel quite comfortable with the life that they're living, although they're not really that comfortable, but they don't think that they can do anything about it. And guess what? You're the person with the true power. The true power lies with us. The ones at the top there, they're only a few, right? But there's not enough of us willing to fight back because we're too comfortable. This is a prison planet, and we've been held down by fear. We're kept in our place through fear. You don't see animals going out and paying for things that grow naturally, okay? We're the only species that seem to be paying for everything, right? You don't see birds, you don't see bees, you don't see flies, you don't see ants, you don't see any of these creatures paying for anything, right? We're the only species that seem to be paying for things that should be free, right? Because these things are natural in nature. They got us trapped.